So even if I wasn't able to fix that thing, which it was this thing, I gotta show this to my buddy, but it was this thing clogging the exhaust, which is common on the FS38. Made a video on it, and even if it was like the pistons and rings were done and whatever, I still made off like a bandit. So even if I had to buy a new whippersnipper every year, it's a pain in the ass if I have to. But if I get, like, say 10 years out of that whippersnipper, my God, that thing's gonna be a phenomenal return on investment, you know. And this is why I like mini chainsaws. My mini chainsaws. Okay, I got 3 chainsaws last year. Obviously, old friend the Echo was free, so that's an excellent return on investment already, just due to the fact that it was free. And okay, 9:30. I'm not too late. But I'm not working here. I'm working over there. Wake up! Wake up! Mini Beast. I mean, $200 saw, and it's already made me about $200 or $300 already this year, maybe $400. You know. And last year, again, using it almost once, twice a week, a few hours at a time, sometimes all day. I mean, what is it, like, how much has it made for me? The tree tangerine. That little husky that I gave to my dad, but I gave it to him, because I just wanted him to have it, right? But he wanted to pay for it, so he gave me $100 for it, right? And that's fine. I mean, I removed the tree stump that was right there. Now you can get into this driveway used to be so hard to get into. But I removed the tree stump with that big pick of mine there. My great-grandfather's pick. Go here. Let that switch. And then we go here. But just to finish up, because I got to go finish those raised beds. What was I going to say? Yeah. So like the tree tangerine, the little Husky 235, great little saw, phenomenal little saw, really, super smooth. One thing I like about the Huskies over the stills is that they're always a smoother. They just run smoother, but the stills seem to have more grunt for given CC size, right? And that little saw was a great little saw. But I'm going to probably buy the 162 to start for the next little saw. Like, if I had the money, I'd have one of every size of still, you know, of the Pro line. And then, like, I know that the small saws aren't really a Pro line. They're just small saws, right? If I get into doing a lot of trees and I have to start climbing and stuff like that, I mean, because that's where the big money is, I'm going to probably get a couple of electric chainsaws, you know, like, one thing that the arborists say is, like, you know, when you're up in the tree, you don't have to pull anything to start it, right? You get all the way up in the tree, or you're hanging in a crane or something like that, and you can't start the damn saw. You keep a spare battery with you. You just go up there. When you're done, you know, put the safety on, whatever. And if there's a safety on them, or if it's just, you know, like a double button, whatever, and you just, you know, hang it to the side, you know, you have a lanyard on it, right? We just put lanyards on everything. It's a lot safer than trying to start a saw up in the tree. And it's not like you need a lot of power for, you know, most of the branches you'll be doing. And if it's something that does require, like I forget where it was, where I was watching, there was like this massive tree in this graveyard. And it was like, oh, geez. The thing had to be 200 feet tall. The base of it was probably from the... oh, yeah, easy. From that tree there to that tree there. Like, we're talking a tree that was probably 500, 600, 700 years old. But it was dead. And the guy was up there, like, every branch was... the smallest branches were probably the size of the steering wheel, right? And he's up there, like, basically standing on... you know, like he's having lunch up there, you know, like lower down a little tray, bring up his coffee, you know, like whatever. He's up there for a couple of days, hanging out up there. But yeah, watching those trees, those branches falling on the top of the sheds, bang, you know, it was like it did a lot of damage, but at least it kept it from falling in the graveyard. But, like, you know, it is what you do. Point is if I have to climb a tree, I'm going to charge a lot of money. Yeah, so the tree tangerine was an excellent little saw, and I plan on having a bunch of little saws. At least, I might have 4 of them. 1 electric and 3 gas. So, like, now that I, like, old friend, I was thinking about selling them, but on the other hand, it's a good saw, and you can never have enough backup saws, because a season is long, you know, and tools break, and I just don't have time to fix stuff. You know what I mean? So like Mini Beast, he's going to be the #1 saw until I replace him with the 162, and then he'll be the backup saw, because he has that trigger issue where he throws a trigger once in a while. It doesn't happen all the time, but I know at some point it's going to happen, you know, more frequently, and I just can't, you know, be tearing my saw apart on the job and stuff like that. Like, when something breaks, you put it aside, you grab the next one, and you deal with the other saw at home, right? Because you're on somebody's time, right? And they're not paying you to work on your broken things, or, you know, they're paying you to get jobs done. So I'm going to wait till maybe 1:45 there, and then I'll start. Of course, now that I'm here, the rain starts. But it is what it is. Just like yesterday. Got my rainy coat. This raincoat, $27 for the pants and the coat. And I tell you guys, that was a good investment. I don't know how many times that raincoat's paid for itself. Think about it this, taking a day off, I lose money. Pay $27 for a raincoat, and I can work in, you know, light rain like this. If it's a full monsoon downpour, yeah, I'll call it a day. But I really want to finish this job today, because I have a hunch I'm going to be working somewhere else tomorrow. I'll be working probably 6-7 days. I'll be working about 9 days straight if tomorrow works out the way I think it's going to. I'll be working 9 days straight. So I'm, like, it's April, I'm working 9 days straight. I mean, it's not full days, so it's not too bad. But I mean, 6 hours of shoveling, trust me, that's like a 16-hour day for an office worker. You know what I mean? But anyway, yeah. So little saws. I know I'm going to be that 162. I really want that thing. 12-inch bar on it. Yeah, it's perfect for, like, you know, especially when you do, like, little stuff around, like, fences like that and fences like that. A big honking saw, like, you know, like my buddy's 372, or, you know, like what Tree Kong is, basically a 272, but just a newer version. Like a 72cc saw, you don't clear brush and stuff like that with that. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to hurt yourself. You're damaging your saw. You know, the little ones, you have so much more control. You know, all these guys that got to get the biggest saw, like, you don't always need the biggest saw. Like, these trees here, okay, which are pretty tall. These trees are probably about 60 to 80, probably 60, 80, 100 feet, some of them. I know the big ones down there are over 100 feet for sure. But these trees, you know, like, you look at a tree like that, okay, that's probably maybe at the base 14 to 16 inch round. I'd use a 260 for that. Like, why would I use anything heavier? You know what I mean? It'll fall trees like that just fine. I've fallen so many trees with my MS 260, which is now the 261. Those trees, you do trees like that all day with it. And the saw doesn't weigh much. Now, the saw, my mid saw that I'm going to get, again, I don't know if he fixed Tree Kong or not, but if he fixed Tree Kong, you know, what I would do is I'd follow this tree with Tree Kong, which is overkill, but it definitely, you don't have to worry about the saw not having enough power. And I'd probably block it about, you know, up to the branches there, and then I'd go to a lighter saw, because that'll only take me a few minutes. Like, once it's on the ground, it's zip, 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 zip. And then once I get up to about where the branches start, which is about 30 feet or whatever, from there I just go to a lighter saw. You know what I mean? Because you're going to smaller branches, you're cutting like, if you're cutting something this big, okay, and you have, say, a 500i, so the steering wheel, whatever the steering wheel is, 14 inches or whatever, maybe 13, 14 inches, okay, and you cut this with a 500i, you're going, like that, through something like that. If it's hardwood, always have to do that at the end, right? You know. You're doing it with the 260s. I don't know if chainsaws make that sound, but They should. So for that difference in speed, you're never going to notice. You know, like when you watch all these guys doing on the chainsaw channels doing time cuts. Okay, they take like the most ridiculous size, you know, something about the size of in here, and then they put a ridiculously sized bar. So they're pushing those saws to the max. So when the 500i cuts a